We will, was that dress white or gold, or where the fuck?
That one fucking trend.
Blue or gold.
Also in this episode, we'll discuss if mustard and peanut butter is good together, what an average schlong really is, and when we can expect the end of the world, and how to prepare for our inevitable doom. I'm James.
I'm Larry. I was like, what is he talking about? I said, we didn't talk about any of this.
Completely unplanned.
Unplanned. I don't think I have mustard, but I for sure have peanut butter. Actually, you know what?
I had a friend on Twitter that said that he likes peanut butter and jelly and mustard sandwiches, and
Did you try it?
No, I haven't tried it, but my first thought was that sounds disgusting, and then my second thought was maybe it's good. Maybe there's the acidic taste of mustard will offset the sweetness and fattiness of peanut butter and jelly, but
if we're lucky, well, let me go see it. I'm gonna see if fucking mustard. We'll find out now.
This is for you. This is for you, listeners. This is for you, listeners. Larry is going to try this right now to see if it's something that maybe you guys will be interested in. Peanut butter and mustard. So somebody else in that conversation was talking about how peanut butter and mustard might be a combination that you could see in maybe some southeastern Asian cuisines, but I don't know if it's there are any southeastern Asian cuisines that have mustard in the peanut butter sauce, like
everything's
like peanut butter sauce.
10 seconds. Dude, my headset fell and it's wrapped up in wires now. What the fuck? Ah, shit.
I don't think they put mustard in Thai peanut sauces. It's like, I don't know if that's a thing, you know.
So I heard. So what's up with that mayonnaise? The Asian mayonnaise.
Kewpie?
I don't know.
Like Kewpie mayo. So Kewpie mayo it's got a slightly different flavor. I can't remember exactly why. There's some small ingredient differences, but it's pretty good. I like it.
Someone said stop buying regular mayo to start buying what'd you say it was? Kewpie mayo?
Kewpie mayo, yeah. It's a Kewpie, I think. Kewpie.
That's a cute name. What's in it? What is it? It's just tons of MSG.
Yeah, I mean, that makes everything better.
It's a smoother, creamier mayonnaise, and it's made with rice vinegar rather than distilled vinegar. Oh, so
okay, that's why it tastes different.
There's like is it sweeter?
Well, rice vinegar, I think, just has a slightly different. It's different kind of tart, you know.
And it's also sweeter. It has rice vinegar is a little sweet, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's a little sweeter. Like you got rice vinegar, and then you got mirin, which is the sweeter kind of rice vinegar. But I think you're right. I think what rice vinegar is a little sweeter than distilled vinegar. Like when I think about distilled vinegar, I'm thinking about like pickling stuff, you know?
Oh, it's also only made with egg yolks, not whites.
That is a distinct difference. That means it's richer too.
And it's made with either rice or apple vinegar. And no added salt or sugar. It's bottled in a slim red and clear container. With
I like Kewpie mayo. I've used it before.
Wait. Following a healthy dose of MSG.
MSG makes everything better.
Okay, I just wanted to add in there. I was like, oh, look, that's actually have MSG in it.
Oh, so remember when we were talking about like if you get MSG, it always comes in like it looks like a really suspect bag.
Yeah, very sus.
Okay, so you can get MSG at Walmart, but they don't market it as MSG.
What's it called?
It's called, well, the particular bottle that I have, it's just called Accent. It's like, this spice makes everything better. And I looked at the back of it and it says the only ingredient in it is monosodium glutamate. And I was like, this is fucking MSG. Fuck yeah. I could just buy MSG from Walmart.
Makes everything taste better.
They just can't tell people it's MSG or people won't buy it.
Makes everything taste better. So it's MSG.
You're goddamn right it does.
The more you know, bitch. So, what else were you talking about? You said peanut butter mustard. Is that a thing?
I don't know. I don't know if the guy was making it up or if he was just if he was being serious, like he actually eats that. But like, it got me curious and it makes me want to try it. So, who
Peanut
knows?
butter and mustard sandwiches are a thing.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I
Peanut
like
butter.
mustard on it.
Peanut butter, mayonnaise, and lettuce sandwiches.
Nah. Well, okay. You know, honestly, I can't say too much about that because I do enjoy Thai food. So, like, and Thai has a lot of peanut sauces and peanut flavors that you wouldn't think goes with the dish, but it kind of does.
But peanut sauce isn't like it's different because I actually had some and it's not peanut. It doesn't taste like peanut butter or anything like that. It's kind of.
Well, yeah, it's not. It's nowhere near as sweet. You know, peanut butter's got a lot of sugar in it.
That's what I'm saying. So it being this sweet, like peanut butter and banana, yeah, that makes sense. The unusual peanut butter sandwich. It has fish on it. Ew, what the fuck?
Ugh, no.
They got a lot of.
I don't know, man.
They got a lot of fucked up shit on here. Avocado, peanut butter, and basil. That one might work.
So we're both just.
Maybe that one works.
I don't know.
I'm not a huge fan of pickles. So they also got a peanut butter pickle and mustard sandwich.
I've heard about peanut butter and pickle sandwiches. It's like one of those jokes about like pregnant women wanting like weird shit. And it's like peanut butter and pickle sandwich.
There's a restaurant that they have like a quote unquote secret menu. Even those menus aren't secret, or I don't know where the fuck they come up. But anyway, it's just weird shit they have on their menu, and it's a burger with peanut butter sauce on it.
I've heard of stuff like that. I've heard that was pretty good.
I don't know.
I don't know either.
Well, next time you gotta give me like a list of ingredients to go buy so you can try weird shit.
I know that people like the basic thing now that's like wild is a fried egg on a burger, but it's not like super wild. That's kind of normal now.
Yeah, that's what I always. That's kind of how I order my burgers. Like, I get like an egg and then maybe some hash browns on it.
Hell yeah, dude! Eggs and hash browns on the burger. It's the next logical step after bacon, man. You just throw breakfast on your burger.
Breakfast needs to be involved in more meals, I think.
Yeah, it really does. Breakfast is so underrated.
Since I don't wake up till fucking 4 p.m.
Breakfast needs more playing time, bro. This is being benched way too often. It's a significant role player, just not getting the time that they deserve. And on top of that, breakfast is just so versatile.
My breakfast.
You do all kinds of shit with breakfast.
My breakfasts are always pretty basic. I don't think if I'm up during what I consider breakfast time, my breakfast is basic. It's like eggs, tortilla, cheese.
Yeah, I mean, like, there's nothing wrong with that though.
Or like potatoes, eggs. I don't really have bacon like pork, so it's just.
Like I said, breakfast can be a role player, but it can also be versatile. So you could do all kinds of other shit with it too.
Egg fried rice. My shit.
There's so many different ways to make eggs.
Yeah, eggs is pretty good.
Crazy.
What's another? I think everything. Pickles. I can't do pickles. I was trying to think of like everything could be.
Everything could be pickled.
Everything could be pickled.
I know that people pickle eggs. I've never really cared for pickled eggs, but I know a lot of people that really love pickled eggs.
Dude, eggs are good. Eggs are good, but I can't eat them by themselves.
I can eat them by. Well, yeah.
That's have bread, I like that. Or it has to be added to something. It can't be. I can't just sit there and eat an egg.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of like I know a lot of people that will like just eat like a boiled egg just as a snack or something. I'm just like, I don't know about that.
Well, even then, you gotta add like salt or pepper or something.
Oh yeah, hell no, you can't eat an unseasoned egg. What?
You can't just eat it by itself. You can't just sit there. And then again, my dad, when he was doing his like freaking weightlifting competitions and shit, he was sitting there downing fucking raw steak and like 4 raw eggs. I'm like, that is significantly unhealthy for you. You are going to die.
I wouldn't eat it raw.
No, definitely not. Definitely not in America. I heard like the Japanese eggs and stuff are like really healthy. You can eat them basically raw, but not in America.
I think part of it is mostly that they never refrigerate their eggs because of like transportation stuff. And you don't have to refrigerate eggs fresh eggs. Like you can just keep them in a basket on your counter or whatever. But once you refrigerate them, you have to continue to refrigerate them. I don't know exactly why that is, but it's this weird thing. And since we refrigerate eggs for long transportation in the United States, you have to continue to keep them refrigerated.
Why do you got to refrigerate maple syrup? Did you know Canada has a maple syrup reserve?
Yeah.
That's weird, right?
Yeah, and like some of the maple syrup that you can get is actually kind of wild. Like they're extra with it. And I got some maple syrup the other week that was maple syrup that was aged in bourbon barrels.
Well, hold up. I remember reading something somewhere that the maple syrup trade is so like crazy that they have like counterfeit like maple syrup that's not actually maple syrup.
They take it seriously, man. This isn't real.
On the other hand, is mainly refrigerated and or refined sugar and chemicals that not only feed cancers but at times may even be the cause of cancer.
Can you imagine maple syrup bootleggers?
Well, did you see that joke they always have, like where they arrested all the people in California for their avocados, for selling avocados? It's like, I'm glad these dirtbags are off the street.
You got fucking mobsters like cutting open a fucking maple syrup bottle. I'm like,
this shit isn't good.
This isn't real maple syrup. You think you could fucking
this is fake
pull one
shit,
over on me,
bitch? Put them in the fucking maple barrel. I'll show you what maple syrup tastes like, motherfucker.
You got yourself in a sticky situation.
Or sending a message. The Canadians.
That'll teach you to peddle fake maple syrup, you bastard.
That would teach you to cheapskate me, you punk.
The fuck?
Oh,
just imagine. I wonder if that shit really happens. You know, like if there's people who are like like peddling counterfeit.
Yeah,
maple syrup.
That's what they're saying. They're saying that there's counterfeit maple syrups, but I don't know. I don't know who the fuck they're selling it to. Like Walmart.
Yeah, where's the market for that? You know, maple syrup is legal. You just go to the store and buy it. So opens up their fucking trench coat. I got maple syrup for you.
That's fake. How dare you?
Pure uncut.
Oh my god.
No high fructose corn syrup. Those are fucking dope ass bottles.
The dopest of bottles.
The dopest bottles.
How do you? Where do I buy a bottle that's shaped like freaking? What kind of leaf is that?
Maple.
Maple? Is that maple leaf?
Maple leaf.
Am I that stupid?
This is like where maple comes from the maple tree.
Says you counterfeiter. I know what you do.
You're counterfeiting maple syrup. I knew it.
You bastard. They got maple syrup, alcohol. The Canadians take their shit seriously.
They really do.
How many gallons of maple syrup do you think there is in the Canadian maple syrup reserve?
I don't know. It's got to be an insane amount.
Any gallon. I wonder maple.
How many gallons of maple syrup does Canada have in reserve?
That's what I'm typing now.
Yeah, it pre-filled it for me.
God damn! Am I going to do that? Oh, okay. Probably because I'm looking at images. 45 gallons. Oh, what's this? Oh, 94,000 barrels. Each barrel carries 45 gallons. So what's the math on that? Hold up.
You said 45 gallons.
No.
Times 90.
No. 9,400 barrels.
And each barrel has 45 gallons.
Yeah. So
423,000 gallons of maple syrup. Almost 500,000 gallons.
That's insane. Why do they need that much maple syrup? Who's gonna drink that much maple syrup? And why do you need to reserve it? Like it's gonna be like they're gonna kill each other over maple syrup. Maybe the cow.
So you never know, man.
Canadians,
you never know.
Kill over maple syrup.
They probably had to tap into their reserves when they were quarantining. Bet you're glad that they had our maple syrup reserve then.
Nothing. You think Russia's bad? Wait till the Canadians don't get their maple syrup.
Canada's like, see, we told you it wasn't crazy.
Canadians. They did. Canada releases 50 million pounds from their maple syrup stockpile. The Canadians.
We told you we weren't crazy. We were stockpiling for a reason, and it happened. It fucking happened.
We've been stockpiling for 40 years.
People looked at us like we were crazy, but we knew we were doing the right thing.
Is trying to rein in gas prices by releasing the U.S. Strategic Reserve, but a different sticky supply situation north of the border has spurred Canada to tap on their emerging stockpile maple syrup amid a major shortage of the sweet stuff. The Quebec maple syrup producers is a government-sponsored cartel that can... Wait, what?
Government-sponsored cartel. They called it a maple syrup cartel.
This is by the New York Post. Sponsored the cartel that controls some 70% of the world's maple syrup supply, and is sometimes compared to the organization of the petroleum exporting countries' grip on oil. So you're comparing maple syrup to oil.
They had to give it the insidious name too. They had to call it a cartel. They couldn't just call it the corporation.
The Quebec government-sponsored cartel that Quebec's, man. I've been searching the ban for maple syrup. More people cook at home amid the pandemic. The cartel has been forced to tap a whopping 50 million pounds of syrup from its strategic reserve. It keeps using the word cartel. Are people getting murdered over fucking maple syrup?
Surely not.
I hope not.
Look, if we go to Google, we can type in maple syrup related deaths.
Maple syrup crime syndicate. the Canadian maple syrup syndicate.
What the fuck? The Great Molasses
Flood. Known as
21.
Good.
21 people killed by a tidal wave of maple syrup.
Imagine explaining that to people's families. So your father, he died? Why? What happened? What kind of criminal activity took his life? Oh, so let me explain this shit to you, right? Somebody hit a barrel of maple syrup and just hit another barrel and another one. Next thing we know, street covered. The bill known as the Maple Act would make it a federal crime for anyone knowingly or willingly distributing into interstate commerce a product that's falsely labeled as maple syrup. Is there a maple syrup mafia? What the fuck?
They take the authenticity of their maple syrup very fucking seriously, apparently.
Yeah, the maple syrup mafia. A history of organized crime in Canada is no secret that the organized crime is everywhere. From Japan and Italy to Israel and Mexico. There seems to be no place where the organized crime family doesn't exist. That have to do with maple syrup. People were stealing 6 million gallons of maple syrup worth $18 million.
Holy shit. There really is maple syrup crime.
There's tons of maple syrup crime, apparently.
Maple syrup organized crime.
That is insane. The Canadians take that shit seriously. No wonder they have a reserve.
What the
fuck? I gotta be honest with you, bud. Was not expecting this. Started off as a joke. New York Times.
What you got there, bud? Is that maple syrup?
Hey there, pal. Turns out, bud. You better back up the maple syrup.
You've been tapping our fucking maple trees.
Maybe you've heard of us, eh? We are the maple syrup mafia. And we're gonna break no kneecaps with these birch trees, bitch.
We're using birch so we don't have to tap into our own maple leaves.
We're gonna suffocate you in maple since you love it so much, bitch. Oh, God.
Give you a syrupy death, eh?
Try not to lose any fingers, pal. Better.
Oh, gee, I'm sorry about that, friend.
Oh, you drowning there, pal? Yeah, be a real sticky situation you're in there, bud.
Like the most polite mafia murder.
Hey, I'm sorry I gotta do this, pal. It's only business, you understand, eh?
You know, the one thing you don't fuck with is the maple syrup.
we put up the brochures. You knew not to fuck with the maple syrup.
You can mess with my family. That's just personal. But when you fuck with the maple syrup,
that's business. And I will fucking murder all of you. Jesus fucking Christ. The Canadians and maple syrup is apparently a huge issue.
Fuck, this is the best shit. The fucking maple syrup mafia.
It's pretty intense over there, it looks like.
Holy shit, there's a book, bro.
There's a book called The Maple Syrup Mafia?
Yeah. The Maple Syrup Mafia, a history of organized crime in Canada.
Hold on, I'm gonna buy this book. There is a book! How much is it? How much is it?
I don't know.
Its ratings are atrocious. Wait. There's customer reviews. I chose to read this book as it intrigued me, and I never heard of the Maple Syrup Mafia. The author was written an interesting book and in such a way that it held my attention. I felt that that's not that. He actually legit one. Boo! You suck. I want to hear like the weird reviews because Amazon.
The next review is 5 stars, and all it says is thanks.
Did you know anything about the Maple Syrup Mafia? I sure didn't until I read this 60-page book. The stories were given in a well-written form. 60 stories.
Holy shit.
60 pages. This was a very intriguing book. I learned new things, which was always a bonus. I can't imagine you learned that much from this book. How much is the book? Someone put 2-star rating. Not good.
Not good. I don't see a price. Where the fuck is the price at?
I don't know. I'm gonna buy it right now.
Holy shit.
Hold up. I gotta find out the price. $3.
$3. The Maple Syrup Mafia. Holy shit.
$10 for the book. Paperback. I want a hardcover. I'm gonna put this, and the thing is, it looks so dramatic. They all have Tommy guns, and it's like
it's painted in red. There's the maple leaf behind them, superimposed on them.
The fuck?
Oh, no fucking way, dude. On Wikipedia, there's an article called "The Great Canadian Maple Syrup Heist."
I like how it says brought down by the FBI. Like, the Americans had to get involved. The aftermath of the biker war in Montreal.
The Great Canadian Maple Syrup Heist was the theft over several months in 2011 to 2012 of nearly 3,000 tons of maple syrup valued at $18.7 million from a storage facility in Quebec. That facility was operated by the Federation of Quebec Maple Syrup Producers, which is the same company that your that your article was calling the Maple Syrup Cartel. So someone was stealing from the Maple Syrup Cartel.
That never ends well. I'll tell you that right now. Well, the same thing. So Canada has maple syrup, but in Mexico they have avocados, and apparently it's the same fucking.
And agave. Tequila.
Yeah. Tequila!
So apparently, adjusted for inflation, the Great Canadian Maple Syrup Heist is the most valuable heist in Canadian history. This is the most money that was ever stolen from someone in Canadian history.
$18 million. That's a lot of fucking money.
It's a fucking lot of money, but they stole it based on its worth in maple syrup.
But think of this. How the fuck do you, first off, take that much maple syrup? Secondly, where the fuck do you store that much maple syrup? And thirdly, who the fuck is buying all this fucking stolen maple syrup? Imagine the mafia, the freaking the syrup mafia sitting there like, we didn't steal it to sell it, we stole it to eat it. We don't ever have to buy maple syrup ever again. How many gallons was like 60? Like, hold up. Maple syrup ice.
It's insane. They're gonna have to start giving out certificates of authenticity with maple syrup from now on. It's like, this is a true and real maple syrup. You get a little certificate with every bottle that you get.
3,000 tons. That can't be right.
3,000 tons.
Was it a ton? 1,000
pounds?
Isn't it? How much is it?
No, a ton. A ton is a little over 2,000 pounds.
So they stole a lot. So
almost like over 6,000 pounds of maple syrup.
No, they stole more than that because it says 3,300 tons, doesn't it?
Oh, so it's like 200,000. Hold up. My math is terrible right now.
I'm like sitting here like, no,
I'm supposed to be good. I'm supposed to be fucking good at this. 2,000 pounds times 3,000 tons, 6 million pounds of maple syrup.
Jesus fucking Christ!
Over 6 million.
That's only worth $18 million.
Yeah, it's like $3 a pound.
That's bullshit. But the thing is, let me explain this shit to you. I go to the store to buy maple syrup. That shit is $8 for a little ass container like this.
Oh, that's just value for probably like their material costs and stuff. So like if you they're making a profit off that, right? So like
it'd probably be
I guess if you're going at like value per like profit per container, like let's just say it was $8 a pound, right? So that's 6 million pounds.
So here we go. Hold on. I'm trying to find like legit maple syrup. Okay, right here, $10, and this is 12 fluid ounces.
Yeah, that's way less than a pound.
Yeah.
So even if you were paying $8 a pound for maple syrup, that's $48 million.
Yeah.
And they said it was valued at Canadian 18.7 million. You know, we know that the Canadian dollar is not worth shit compared to the American dollar. Like it's almost a 2-to-1. So like in our money, that would be like 9 million. But they did say this happened in 2011 and 2012, and if you adjust for inflation, it's even higher. But surely, I don't know what the Canadian inflation rate was from 10 years ago, you know?
So here's another question. Do you think a rivaling like maple syrup company robbed him? Because like, how do you sell that much maple syrup? There's no way in fucking hell. Where do you store that much maple syrup?
They had to have warehouses, man. Like
they had to have like 3 warehouses. So that much, and they did that within a few months. It was like a 3 or 4 months. They stole that much maple syrup. How don't you notice 60 million gallons of maple syrup missing?
Imagine when someone first realized, like they're doing inventory or something.
Shit!
Like,
we're gonna miss all the maple syrup.
Wait a minute, boss!
We've been robbed. How much did you say, lad?
3 tons.
60 million. Fucking 3 fucking tons. No, 3,000 tons.
I really don't want to say, boss.
Well, how much was it? Just say it. Spit it out. What did we lose? 3,000 fucking tons.
The fucking Tiger King meme comes up. Suck. I'll never financially recover from this.
They're probably still restocking. Hold up. How much maple syrup is made a year? I guarantee you it's not 3 billion tons. Oh my god. That's it? Oh god.
Oh, so this is what they did.
Let me explain this to you real quick.
Yeah.
How many gallons do you think they still out of Canada?
Right now?
No, how much did they steal, like, in total? Like, it was...
how much did they steal?
Yeah, gallons.
Let's see. So they had 9,571 barrels that they stole. So 9,571 barrels at 45 gallons each. Oh, 44 gallons each. 421,124 gallons.
So you know how much gallons of maple syrup Canada makes a year?
How much?
11 million. That means they robbed them over 40 years of fucking maple syrup in 6 months.
No, less than that. If they make 11 million gallons, they only took 421,000. So they took 5% of the of an annual production.
Okay. Either way,
it's still 5% of the total production 5%. Of the entire country.
And that's what they were able to account for. So they stole 9,571 barrels, and they said in a suspected insider job. Yeah, no shit. Someone on the inside had to fucking help you there. You're missing that many gallons of maple syrup. No shit, someone robbed your ass from the inside.
So apparently they stored them in unmarked white metal barrels. They took them to the remote sugar shack where they siphoned off the syrup and refilled the barrels with water and then returned them to the facility.
The sugar shack?
Yeah, some remote sugar shack. Stolen syrup was trucked to the south to Vermont and east to New Brunswick, where it was trafficked in many small batches to reduce suspicion. It was typically sold to legitimate syrup distributors who were unaware of its origin. So that's who they were selling it to. They were selling it to legitimate syrup distributors, but they were pocketing all the money from the sales themselves instead of the Federation getting the money.
Or you mean the maple syrup cartel?
Yeah, the cartel.
Maple syrup cartel, my friend.
They're skimming off the top, man. They're skimming off the top of the syrup barrel.
As long as they robbed the syrup cartel, we're not too worried about it.
Yeah, it's not like they were robbing small maple business.
What the fucking... I wonder. You think they're still upset about it? You think they're like, small losses, it's so long ago. Do you think they're gonna come kill us now?
Oh, they arrested 17 people related to the thefts.
I wonder what are the crimes for maple syrup theft in Canada? Let's look it up because I'm sure there is some.
Oh, they've got the perpetrators and their sentences here.
Oh, okay.
So their accused ringleader was sentenced to 8 years in prison.
That's it?
Plus a $9.4 million fine.
Oh, shit.
With an extension to 14 years if the fine was not paid.
I wouldn't pay that. I would say the 14 years.
Well, later, Quebec Court of Appeal ruled that was excessive and lowered the fine to $1 million.
They stole $18 million worth of shit. You know what? You guys gonna keep $17 million? Give us back our $1 million, bitch.
The next guy was convicted of possession and was sentenced to 2 years in jail minus.
Wait! Stop! Possession? As if he's like smuggling cocaine. Oh, yeah, you got possession.
Possession of an illicit substance.
Oh, stolen substance. You're even more fucked up. They get arrested for substance abuse.
This is unregulated. This is unregulated maple syrup, sir.
He's just walking around with a pouch with like a little maple syrup thing in his like pocket, and they fucking gaffled his ass. They're like, "What is this?" I can explain, officer. It's not mine. This is not my jacket.
One of the syrup resellers was sentenced to 2 years in jail, minus 1 day, and 3 years of probation and an $850,000 fine. So this distributor, I guess, had to know that the syrup wasn't legit.
When a dude pulls up to your place with unmarked containers, it's like, "Hey, bro, I'll make you a great deal on this maple syrup."
This is the plan. Put them in unmarked containers, transport them to the sugar shack.
The sugar shack. What is a sugar shack?
What got them caught, though, is that they were replacing it with water, and these barrels, they're only inspected once a year, but they were replacing the syrup with water so they would have weight to the barrel, and they got lazy after a while and started not even putting anything back in there. So somebody was inspecting them and fell through some of the barrels, because they were expecting them to be heavy barrels, and he was climbing up on like empty barrels.
Oh shit! We've been talking for 40 minutes about maple syrup.
Fuck yeah, this is the best episode yet.
We just bashed these idiots for robbing the maple syrup cartel.
The last guy that on this list of perpetrators with sentences was a trucker that got involved in the transport of the stolen syrup, and he served 8 months in prison.
Oh, okay. Hope they paid him well.
And the other person, there was an insider whose spouse owned the warehouses where they were storing stuff.
Oh shit!
He was sentenced to 5 years in prison plus a $1.2 million fine. So they got him pretty hard because he was actually providing the place to store the shit.
The thing is if his wife owns multiple warehouses, I don't think $1 million is gonna affect him too much.
No. Oh, fine. I'll spend the 1.2 and 5 years in prison. Fuck it. I pulled off the greatest heist in Canadian history.
The greatest maple heists. God.
They need to make a movie from this shit, dude. This would be a fucking fantastic movie.
Instead of Casino, it's freaking...
It's a Maple 17.
Maple 17. Maple 17's a crack as a drug, apparently. So now you know.
Oh, no way.
I want to type in Maple 17 and see if it was able, so we could copyright it.
So, honestly, you could just call it the Great Canadian Maple Syrup Heist, and it would. That's the movie, the Great Canadian Maple Syrup Heist.
They already have the Great Maple Syrup Heist.
No way. There's a movie of it.
I think there is.
Is it a documentary?
I don't know.
No, they need to make a movie. They need to make a dramatization of it, because I would fucking watch it.
They would have to.
Oh, I would 100% watch the dramatization.
And it's funny because I typed in maple syrup heist, and what came up was the guy who plays Scarface sitting instead of like a thing of cocaine. It's just pancakes and maple syrup on top.
And Al Pacino. Oh, that's fucking good. That's good shit right there. There's a picture from Ocean's 11 where they're sitting in front of a big stack of pancakes.
Yeah, that one's it. And tons of maple syrup. We did it, boys. And then they also have a clip of a man getting yelled at by like a Mountie, like a, what do they call those guys? Like the mountain men, the ones who have like the horseback.
The Mounties, yeah, the Canadian Mounties.
Yelling at another Canadian Mountie about the maple syrup heist.
It's Royal Mounted Police or some shit like that.
I don't know.
That's fucking hilarious, man. They stole this maple syrup. Imagine that's how they fucking tested it. It's like they just poured some on some pancakes. Yeah, they're all like, it's like, they're sitting there, that's good shit.
Looking it through like one of those like glass little things while like they're checking it like diamonds and they're with a little fucking thing.
Look at the strands. That's how you know it's real.
look how sticky it is.
See how it drips off the side of the pancakes? Not like that cheap shit.
That cheap American crap. What's her name? Aunt Jemima, my ass.
That's how you know it's real Canadian, bud.
Alright, okay. So, did you want to talk about your conspiracy theory first, or did you not get one yet?
I had not gotten anything. I think the maple syrup heist.
Motherfucker. You can't claim that. You can't claim that as your research, motherfucker.
I didn't have any time to even look at anything, honestly.
So what I did lazy investigation, and I just listened to videos about it. So I cheated. Because apparently this is like a really popular thing, and if you guys are wondering, since we're talking about Canada, some of the stuff actually happens in Canada, is the missing 411, which is basically our national forests, and some people believe that, like, I think Theodore Roosevelt, whoever the hell put the national parks as a thing, knew about this. And basically it says that in the Appalachian Mountains and I think parts in Canada and all sorts of like in the national forests and all sort of shit. Like places that are kind of like remote and like hard to get to are basically home to either cannibals, aliens, or Wendigos slash
Skinwalkers.
Skinwalkers. And basically it's like people are going missing and their bodies being found like 40 miles away, or like kids are going missing and they're being found like alive 12 miles away in like remote locations where they shouldn't have been able to get to. Like this crazy shit like that. There was one case where the kid was walking it was with his mom and his dad, and I guess the mom walked away and the dad was fishing or something. And they say, "Hey, come over here, son, look what I got." He turns around, the kid's fucking gone. And the kid's gone, and it's like the kid's gone. And like the next day, it's dad's looking for him, can't find him. They call the cops. Cops come looking for him, can't find him. And then, like it's, I got okay. And then like the next day, it starts snowing and like raining real bad. So they can't find any footprints. There's no footprints. There's no signs of a struggle. No screaming. Nothing. They couldn't find the fucking kid. It starts snowing. So anything that would have been there is gone. It starts raining. All sorts of dumb shit. Like the kid shouldn't survive like a day or two in this kind of weather conditions.
And that would have covered up any kind of tracks and stuff.
Oh, that was the thing. The cops came and there was no tracks. There was no signs of a struggle, no screaming, nothing. There was nothing they could find of a kid. And the kid's not going to be able to hide its own, like, fucking shit. So, couldn't find the kid. It starts snowing, raining, whatever. And then they're looking around, can't find him. And I guess a car was going by, like, 2 days later, by, like 40 miles in, like, a completely different town. They're like, hey, is that a kid just walking through the fucking forest? And they stop over and they grab the kid. The kid's no damage. Nothing's wrong with it. And basically, yeah. And they're like, hey, your kid's over here. He's like, how the fuck did a kid, like a 3-year-old, get 40 miles away in the snow?
That's insane.
And they're like, and then like they got the kid, and the kid's like, oh yeah, the person who grabbed me didn't have a face, and he was like covered in fur, and he kept me safe and this shit. And then there was another one where I guess I didn't do really good research. I just kind of listened to videos. And another one was this kid, I think it was with his dad or his brother or some shit. And he just goes, same thing, goes missing and they can't find him. And then eventually they do end up finding him. Like a couple days later, again, same kind of conditions where it got real rainy and like kids shouldn't have been able to live through the night kind of thing. Like, oh yeah, the kid's fucking dead. We're looking for a body at this point. They find the kid. And the kid's like, oh yeah, I guess the grandma had some sort of name like Gama or Mama or Grant or what the fuck was the bitch's name? I don't know. Hold up. The Fuzzy Man.
The Fuzzy Man?
This is
you know what it was? Is they wandered into a maple tree patch. The maple syrup mafia.
Well, this was in California. Them. A boy who disappeared in California State Park is later found in good shape after being missing for 2 weeks. The boy says he was taken by the Fuzzy Man, but was later released. My friend, who was researching a rescue service in Northern California for many years, I don't care about all that. It goes on for about 2 miles. Here we go. Okay, there's some stuff in here. Has been full life, strange encounters, appearances I mentioned to her, whatever. Something good, nothing good. Want to hear a real doozy, apparently. She tells me about how there was this first started, there was a case that it got a lot of attention in the media. A family had been berry picking, and I don't know who the fuck goes berry picking anymore, in an area of the forest very close to the entrance of the park. They had 2 little boys, both under the age of 5, and at some point during the day, one of them vanishes. There's absolutely a massive search, nothing's going on. It's like the kid, he was never there in the first place. The dogs just sit down and don't pick up anything, no trace of him. Kid's found. Search goes on for about 2 months. Wait, what? 2 months? 2 weeks. 2 months, but it's eventually called off. Fast forward to 6 months later, the family comes back to the place, flowers at a memorial that's been set up there for the kid. They bring their other son. While they're placing the flowers, they lose sight of the other kid for about 3 seconds, and in the span of that time vanishes. Imagine losing 2 kids in the same fucking place.
Yeah, at that point, I think the police would probably like be mad at the parents.
Yeah,
it's like, hey, this is wrong. Like you're doing this on purpose now.
Yeah, you're murdering your children. Now, obviously, the parents are beyond devastated. Yeah, whatever, serial killers. It's awful enough to lose 1 child, but to lose 2 is beyond imagining. The search is huge, one of the largest in state history. Maybe search like their basement or backyard. At that point, that's where I'd be looking. You motherfuckers lost 2 kids? Combined every inch of the park, looking for the kids, but again, there was no trace of him. The search goes on for a week with people looking miles from the part of the park he vanished. Then almost 2 weeks later, a volunteer almost 15 miles from the designated search area radios in that they found the kid. They assumed that the kid was dead, but the volunteer says, no, it's alive. He's in good shape. My friend's teams go over there to recover the kid, and when they get there, she can't believe that the little kid that was been missing. His clothes are clean, there's no dirt on him anywhere, and he doesn't appear traumatized. The volunteers say he found the kid sitting on a log, playing with little twig bundles that's bound together with some old rope. She asked him where he's been, who he's with for those 2 weeks, and the kid tells her that he's been he's in with the fuzzy man. Now my friend's family believes in Bigfoot, so she gets all excited and asks, "Where's the fuzzy man? Was he hairy?" But the kid says no, wasn't hairy. He was a fuzzy man, and is described a man that's a man that's blurry, like when you close your eyes, but not all the way closed. He says the man comes out of the trees and looks and took the kid with his deep. God damn! Either I'm reading this fucking shit like trash, or these people are using fucking weird ass words. Treason looks and took the kid with him deep into the woods. The kid says he slept in a hollow tree and a fuzzy man gave him berry seed. My friend asked if the man was mean, if he scared the kid, and the kid said no, he wasn't scary, but I don't like how he didn't have eyes.
Yeah, I wouldn't like that either. I would be upset. It's like, yeah, this guy who is like IRL blurry with no eyes shoved me into a hollow tree and fed me berries for 2 weeks. He wasn't mean though.
So the kid was kept in the tree for I guess a while, at least 2 weeks, and he was given berries. He was allowed to wander around a very specific clearing, but when he tried to go further, the fuzzy man would get mad and yell real loud, even though he didn't have a mouth. When the kid got scared at night, the fuzzy man made it all get brighter. What the fuck? And gave him a twig bundle. He said the fuzzy man was going to keep him, but he had to let him go because the kid wasn't the right kind. He either that fuzzy man's a little all right.
What the fuck does that mean?
You're not the right kind, bitch. This is 2021 or 2022. Either can't or won't elaborate more on that. The cops are just sort of left scratching their heads. So where the other kid? I guess the brother was the right kind.
Yeah, where's the brother at?
The kid has no idea where his brother might be, and they never find him.
I have more questions than I have answers from this story.
That's what I'm saying. There's like a bunch of like weird shit. So there's that one. There was one about like the grandma.
What the fuck? I'm not going to any national parks now.
Well, the thing is, so it's kind of funny how some of this shit works, because like a lot of like the missing fucking shit. So this is kind of like the thing I've been speculating. Well, these ones are kind of weird, but a lot of these like missing 401 cases are around where like caves are.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like it's possible that people just like were walking and fell into a fucking cave, or just go like, or something got a hold of them and ate them. Like there's animals out there, especially during like winter and shit. Animals don't give a fuck what they fucking eat.
Yeah, there's crevasses. Yeah, you fall into a crevasse. That's not good.
Well, one of the people that I'm giving credit to is Aiden Mattis. He's the one on TikTok, and then the one on YouTube is Mr. Ballin. And we'll try to leave some links in the description. Because they're the ones. Mr. Baldwin is the one I was listening to today, and then I think Aiden, I said his name was the one.
Yeah.
It was the one I was. Aiden Mattis on TikTok is the one I was sending you his links to. And I think he's actually like a historian and shit too. Like he went to college to be like a history buff basically. And I guess this is one of the things he was talking about, Aiden, was that Theodore Roosevelt, a person who loves fucking hunting and, exploring and also this shit, that was kind of like his shit, would designate areas of land that we're not allowed to hunt in or allowed to go into or build in or anything like that, like the national parks. And there's like, that's kind of fucking weird when you think about it, since this dude likes hunting.
Yeah.
And he says, what if what they found out was that these like skinwalkers or whatever were in the national forest and they pushed them back into like basically into hiding, and that's why you're not allowed. Like, it kind of like makes people not want to go into the forest. They'll go visit, but they won't go like really like into the shit, I guess. And he says, what if? Then there's like, what are these mountain men and all these other people that go out into there and that go out hunting for like these fucking monsters? And that's what they're saying, that's why these national parks were put into play, was to kind of keep us separated, or at least try to, from these creatures that may or may not live in the forest. Which I was like, that's kind of interesting.
It's like the government shit. Like they're just yeah.
They're basically just like trying to keep that's what he said. He's like, how do you think people would react if they found out there was something that would like specifically hunted humans and was stronger, faster, and basically supernatural, that could run through the woods and breakneck speeds and catch people and drag them 40 fucking miles away?
Fuck that.
In minutes, I mean, not seconds, in minutes.
Well, seconds. I mean, if that one kid, they were only not watching him for 3 seconds, he came in completely quietly.
So that's what the Aiden says. Like, this thing would have to be moving at like at really like alarming speeds to be able to grab somebody, and then them being found 2 days later, 40 miles away,
and quiet, like absolutely no sound.
No sound. Not even enough time for the kid to be like, "Bop," just gone. So missing 401. What was the other one? I'm trying to find the one with the grandma, because that was the one that was kind of weird. Because what they say is that the skinwalkers and the Wendigos take on forms of other people. And since this grandmother, like I guess like a couple years prior, her and a friend of hers, like a good friend of hers, went out into the woods, and they kept thinking that they saw like eyes looking back at them. And they're like, what the fuck? And like, oh, it's probably just a bear or something. But they saw it the entirety of their trip. And then once they went to bed, I think it was like the third night or first night or some shit like that. I don't remember exactly. Again, I didn't read this. I'm trying to find it. Her and her friend both woke up outside with what looked like they said spider bites. They thought they got poisoned by like a spider, and they kind of got like delusional and walked outside, not thinking about it, and like basically passed out. And then a couple years later, I guess, or a year later, or whatever it was, the kid's like, oh, it goes missing. Basically, I don't remember. Again, I gotta find this fucking story because no, this is it. Okay, huh? Oh wow. On October 1st, 3.5-year-old John Doe, his relatives were camping by a popular fly fishing location near Mount Shasta around 6 p.m. The child's parents realized their son had suddenly gone missing. According to Mr. Doe, his youngster was there 1 second and gone the next. He scoured the area he had last been seen in complete panic, stricken horror. After hours of feverishly, okay. What the? Oh, okay, I'm blind. That's what it is. The F was like really close and kind of like a bracket. I was like, myself was feverishly, but fiercely searching. The little boy still had not turned up. Now desperate and distressed, the father decided to call the local police deputies and the United States Forest Service. They're saying the United States Forest Service knows all about the shit. To rescue personnel combed the forest well into the night, yet there was no sign of the toddler. 5 hours after John Doe again, had disappeared, authorities found him laid down on the brush directly next to a trail that they had previously searched. He appeared to be in a dazed, semi-conscious state. Mr. and Mrs. Doe attributed this to exhaustion and were simply grateful for their little one to be returned physically unharmed. Medical staff gave a full clearance, so the freshly reunited family were permitted to return home. Everyone's lives quickly went back to normal. Yet only a few weeks later, the small boy would share a disturbing tale about his terrifying ordeal. One day, John's grandmother, Kathy, who is called Cappy, that's a fucking name, Cappy, was playing with her grandson. Suddenly, he looked towards her and said that he didn't like the other Grandma Cappy. Confused, she asked him what exactly he meant. John explained that while he was lost in the forest, he had been taken deep inside a mountain's cave by a woman he thought was Grandma Cappy. She led him into a cool, dark, spider-infested room filled with motionless humanoid robots scattered across the floor. I'm assuming probably dead people. Scattered across the floor with dusty purses, guns, and various types of other weapons. As John anxiously faced his grandparent, he noticed an eerie light radiating from her head. And the moment he realized she was not his real granny, Cappy firmly instructed the boy to defecate on the piece of paper. When she refused, she became increasingly agitated and repeatedly requested him to do so. Eventually, the grandma lookalike succumbed to frustration and moved on to a different topic. Allegedly, she informed John that he had been planted in his mother's womb, and it was actually from outer space. Shortly after the extraordinary account, she took the boy back outside to a thicket and advised him to wait for help. Upon hearing this disturbing story, an outraged Kathy called her son and demanded to know what he was allowing her grandchild to watch on television. Mr. Doe lamented that he had heard of an identical recollection only a few days prior. Initially, the two chalked it out and overreacted imagination. Yet the more Kathy thought about it, the more John's story perplexed her. What kind of TV show would feature some of this ludicrous topics that the boy described? Even more chilling was the idea that she might have some kind of doppelganger assuming her identity in the forest. With this predator, whatever in mind, Kathy decided to share a haunting experience of her own. Only a year before, she had gone on a camping trip with close proximity to where John ordeal occurred. In the morning, she awoke face down in the dirt. Somehow, she had been inexplicably removed from the sleeping bag with her tent and transferred a short distance away. Upon rousing? What the fuck?
Rousing.
Upon rousing, after rising, she felt an increased pain in the base of her neck. 2 puncture wounds were present, and the surrounding skin was red and inflamed. Another friend who accompanied her in the expedition suffered a matching affliction. The pair originally attributed the injuries to a possible spider bite. Both Kathy and her companion became violently ill. In fact, she was sick. Yeah, basically, she got really sick. Her mind
now she's a vampire.
Yeah, now she's a vampire, and desperately tried to recall what happened. Well, no, they say that like Wendigos and shit need like some sort of DNA to be able to mimic like your sound and how you look and everything else. In time assumed that they were produced by an herb or a deer following. So they thought they were being followed by a herd of deer, and that's why they kept seeing like eyes in the forest. Kathy felt completely drained of her creativity and emotions. So maybe they were attacked by a vampire. Several months would pass before she felt like her old self again. Admittedly, Grandma Cappy would have dismissed this episode. Wait, what? Dismissed her episode had John not come forward with his encounter. Legends and lore predict to Mount Shasta have existed through the centuries. Indigenous tribes people chronicled as a fallen race of prehistoric giants that were said to inhabit the region. Other slaves being known as Lumarins used local caves as entrances to the underground crystal city called Talos. These are just like legends that the Native Americans had. Some allege a large angelic vortex is present within the territory in modern times. There have been many UFO and Bigfoot sightings reported each year. 26,000 visitors flock to the revered mountains from countries across the globe. There have been alarmingly high numbers of curious missing persons caused with terrain, and basically that's it. So, kind of weird. Yeah, but there's 90,000 people go missing every year. That's a lot of fucking people.
Yeah.
And some of them are like, and there's some in some of these cases, the people that go missing are like basically professional fucking survivalists and shit. It's like a dude would go into the woods and I'm gonna go hunting, just casual hunting, and the dude would go hunting in like let's say Serbia. He'd go to Serbia and hunt Siberian tigers in the winter. But then he comes into a forest to go. I think he was hunting deer, and ends up missing. All they find is his shoes and his bones in his shoes.
Still weird shit with the kid though. Like,
oh,
hey kid, you want some chocolate? Come shit on this piece of paper.
Shit on this paper.
What the fuck, Grandma?
Grandma, you need to slow your roll there, sweetheart.
Damn, Grandma, why do you want me to do that?
You weird bitch. What did my boss say?
Yeah. That's some weird shit, Granny. I don't know if I could shit on this piece of paper. Well, then I think you ought to just sit by this bush here and wait for help.
Then get the fuck out of my house. This is a cave, Grandma.
Granny, I'm scared.
You're terrifying me. Come to find out it was a grandma the entire time.
What the fuck?
So yeah, I was kind of some weird shit. That's what I've been looking at. You got anything?
So, well, my grandson told me a weird story about these here woods, so I'm going to go camping in them. Okay, Grandma.
Gets attacked by a vampire immediately. How do you get attacked by a vampire the same day?
Well, this flies in the face of all vampire lore. I thought they needed permission to come inside of the tent. If there's no door, do they need permission?
Do they need doors? There's...
Does a flap count? Can I come through your flap?
That sounds bad.
It does sound bad.
2 puncture wounds. I'm like, that sounds kind of vampire to me. Because you said vampire, and I was like, no, it's not a vampire, stupid. It's supposed to be like a Wendigo or some shit. Or in this case, aliens taking the form of Wendigos.
Yeah, it could have been. Maybe it was aliens taking DNA samples.
Aliens want stools.
Just really inconsiderate aliens.
If you want to fucking get abducted, shit on a piece of paper. They'll come running.
It's so weird. See, that's some weird ass aliens. You know, like it's like come shit on this piece of paper, or they're gonna bite you in the neck while you're asleep and just leave you face down somewhere else.
In the dirt.
Like, they don't give a shit about just putting you back in your sleeping bag.
Maybe
if we just leave them here, they won't notice. You know, bam, throw you on the ground.
Even better is like, you know what? These old bitches ain't worth shit. We gotta go find someone young. Children, perhaps.
This one's not the right kind.
Yeah, not the right kind. What's that supposed to mean, bitch? You're not the right kind.
You know, I mean, like when it says something like that, what are they referencing? You know, were they looking for a little girl and got a little boy, and because they can't tell the difference, or is like the wrong?
I don't think they care. Because the other one was the boy too. They were both boys.
True. I don't like your bone structure. You're not the right kind.
And like sit here and wait for help. Like you couldn't take them to like a town or something. Like yeah, go that way, bitch.
Or maybe he's too whiny. He's like, this kid is way too whiny.
This kid doesn't even want to shit on a piece of paper. What kind of people are we abducting these days? Whiny
the other
ass.
kid loved the twigs with the rope tied around it. What the fuck?
You don't like the twigs? I picked those myself.
You don't like the twigs? Excuse me, Mr. Faceless Man. I don't really care for these berries. It's like you just are not the right kind. You know, like,
oh my god.
What?
Oh, it's the fuck? These people are weird. Anyway, go ahead. I'm sorry. I was going to cut you off. I'm over looking at Wendigos, and then somebody made a fan fiction of a fucking Wendigo, and I'm going down this list is a fucking big ass Wendigo cock in my fucking screen. I'm like, what the fuck? I was like, was not expecting that when I typed in Wendigo.
Rule 34 knows no bounds.
Yeah, I don't know. I was gonna say I was not expecting a Wendigo cock. To be honest with you.
No one expects the Wendigo cock.
That's the real danger of the Wendigos is their cock. Don't worry about their teeth or intense speed.
Antlers. It's their massive dongs.
What's the difference between a Wendigo and a Skinwalker?
Well, Skinwalkers are like it. It's like another name for Wendigo, but like it's not really the same thing either, because Wendigos are like supposed to be like spirits that represent like insatiable greed and stuff. And skinwalkers, I think, are just kind of like shapeshifters.
But I thought the way they were made was they would basically be like a priestess or priest who got into like dark shit.
It's some sort of witch shit. So the Wendigo is often said to be a malevolent spirit that possesses human beings. So it's like a possession type of thing. Once a human possessed by the Wendigo spirit, invoking feelings of insatiable greed and hunger and the desire to cannibalize other humans. Which, interestingly enough, there's actually a psychiatric term called Wendigo psychosis, which is characterized by symptoms such as intense craving for human flesh and the intense fear of becoming a cannibal. Like, how weird is that? Like, you get this form of psychosis. You're like, oh my god, I don't want to become a cannibal, but I'm so hungry for human meat.
I want the flesh.
That's the fucking most confusing shit.
Could you imagine? You have Wendigo psychosis. Why? Because I don't like eating people. It's the fear of eating human meat. Try it once. You don't like it, throw it back.
No. I did hear something. I think I heard something about like somebody was like creating artificial human flesh.
I told you that.
Yeah, you did. That's wild.
I want to order some.
No, I'm not even curious.
Human flesh. Oh, it says human. What the hell is it? Jew? Artificial human Jew? Excuse me? That's not what I typed. I typed in flesh. I typed in artificial human, and then it automatically filled in Jew.
The fuck is wrong with your search history?
I didn't search that up. I don't even know. Artificial human flesh for food. Or sell. For sale. There we go. For Frankenstein. What? Artificial human flesh for Frankenstein. So someone's out there looking up how to make a Frankenstein monster for food. Let's see. Because they're making artificial flavored. Yeah, artificial flesh and the future food. Here we go.
No, thank you.
Okay. The FDA allows 4% of human flesh in all meat sold.
Oh, that's great. So when somebody accidentally cuts their finger off in like a meat slicer or whatever, they're just, whatever.
But you already got the idea.
Yeah, send that guy to the hospital. We'll just make this into some sausage.
If you tell your friends, you sign a non-disclosure agreement, and we will sue the shit out of you.
Hell no! I don't want. Now you gotta be careful about
in warehouses and shit. That when you get hired on, you sign like an NDA, so you can't really say anything that happens in the warehouse. So. That's funny.
Did you ever hear that story about how someone tried to sue like Mountain Dew or something because they found a rat in their Mountain Dew can?
I think I told you that too.
Did you?
Yeah.
Mountain Dew was like, "There's no way you found a rat. It would have dissolved."
What? In that case, I would have just took the lawsuit. So sorry, man. Here's the lawsuit. Imagine me like, bullshit. I call your bluff. There's no way a rat survived or body survived. It would have disintegrated in there.
People are like, what the fuck are you putting in Mountain Dew?
And then they come back, we might need to change our recipe after this lawsuit.
So we kind of told on ourselves with that one.
Disintegrates human flesh. Or flesh in general. Fur, bone, and all. That's fucking nuts.
This is nuts. This is some pretty acidic shit. And delicious.
If you opened a business, what kind of business would it be?
If I I'd probably open a restaurant. Like, I really would never want to turn it into a job, but I think that's something that I could be good at. Now, what kind of restaurant? That's a whole nother thing. I want to
start a maple syrup industry. I'm gonna steal all of it from Canada.
You just put a target on your back, pal.
No, I think a gun store would be pretty dope.
Gun store? Would you run like a range too, or just sell guns?
Just sell guns and ammo.
Do you feel like you're passionate about that?
Oh, dude, I think I spend way too much money on it, if I'm being honest with you. I think it'd be like a drug dealer. I'm just trying to fund my own addiction.
Shit, that'd be kind of like how it would be for me with a restaurant. Like it'd just be me funding my own way into just making whatever the fuck I wanted.
And then eventually, I also want to get into dog breeding, but that's kind of controversial, and a lot of people don't agree with it. So it's kind of
It kind of depends on the dog breeding. If you're doing it ethically, you know, and
yeah. But the thing is, with all, I think, well, if I had a lot of, what if? Okay, here's an idea. If you had a bunch of money, what would you do? Like, let's say you're just like billionaire, multi-billionaire, started with the billions. What would you do with it?
with the money.
Yeah, like what would you like? Would you be like what's the word? Like a helpful person? Like you go around like, oh, well, this place is underfunded, so you go like help fund them and do all sorts of shit. Say you had like unlimited amounts of money.
I'd like to think that I'd be a philanthropist, but
I would. Well, the thing is, I would if I was a philanthropist, I would do it all in private.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't want anyone to be like, hey, give me a handout. No, it would just be private.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah, then you'd have to like I don't know. You could like set it up to be like a trust that or a charity organization that you fund, but you're not necessarily like your name's not super attached to it.
Yeah,
you know that way you can kind of anonymously direct where your philanthropy is going to. I'd like to think that I would be though.
So here's another question for you. So it's TikTok. If we get 1,000 followers on that shit, would you be down to live stream on there?
On TikTok, yeah, I would do that. You have to figure out how, but I mean, I think you could just do it from your phone, right? So,
was there ever an event in your life that defied explanation? Defied. Yeah. Like something that happened that you were just like, can't explain it.
In my personal life?
Yeah, in your life.
I can't think of anything that was just. Oh, okay. So I've seen some like orbs before and shit that I couldn't explain. That was some weird shit. I was just like laying in bed and like a concentrated little ball of light traveled from one side of the ceiling to the other. I mean, I could see it with the naked eye. And at first I thought, it was just a car passing by, I guess I saw the light through the window. But shortly afterwards, a car passed by and I saw the light come through the window and it looked completely different. And I was like, that was not the same thing. Like, so I've seen some shit like that where it's like weird lights that I couldn't explain, but nothing like just really crazy.
So I'll answer this question after I ask you another question. Do you think that like shit like that happens, but or only happens to people that like? I guess not. I don't know. I said basically what I was thinking was, do you think that only happens to people who are open minded, or do you think people who are closed minded that like they can see spiritual shit too?
I don't know.
Like if someone came up to you and said leprechauns exist, and you're like, yeah, whatever, go fuck yourself. You'll never see a leprechaun, right? But let's say you believed in that shit. And then all of a sudden you start like seeing the little motherfuckers running around that aren't actually there.
I think you would definitely
be more open to the idea.
More likely to see leprechauns if you're looking for them.
Well, no, I'm not saying you're looking for it, but you're open to the idea. Let's say like you're open to the idea of vampires and also there's like crazy shit. Do you think like you'd be like, oh shit, there's the fucking whatever the fuck? Like you'd be more open to the idea, maybe? I don't know.
Maybe. Yeah. I think if shit exists, it's gonna exist regardless of how you feel about it.
So unexplained. Oh shit! Oh my fucking. Oh, that's not good. Ah! Oh fuck. Okay.
That was an unexplained sound. That was weird.
Okay, everything's falling apart. But when I was a kid, I guess I used to have dreams of shit. And some of the shit I would tell my mom and dad about them, and some of the shit I used to dream about would happen in like real life. So like I told my mom one time, I woke up in the middle of the night. I go over to her. I'm like, "Hey, Mom, Uncle Freddie says, which is my uncle. He died." And I was like, "He says goodbye and he loves you and that he's just gone. Basically, he'll see you in the future or whatever the fuck." And then like, we get a phone call. I think that morning that he ended up passing away in the night. It's like fuck, like shit like that. And there was one where I said someone's gonna have a heart attack, and then that they need to go to a hospital, and the person ended up having a heart attack. So like dumb shit like that, where like I saw shit when I was a kid. I can't say anything like too recent because I don't really remember any of my dreams anymore.
Yeah, same.
When I was a kid, I used to like say crazy shit like that, and it would end up happening, and I was kind of like what the fuck?
Fucking premonitions and shit.
Yeah, I'm over here being Notre Dame and shit. What are some strange beliefs that some people have? Notre Dame and shit. I think the Zodiac people.
Oh, okay, yeah, astrology's weird.
You fucking star bastards. Just kidding. I'm sure you guys are fine, but you start telling me that, oh, that's such an Aries thing to say, I'm gonna fucking lose my shit. Even though I'm born in June. I don't know. Shania! She's better with that shit. I don't know what the fuck any of that shit means. I'm in June. What is that, Cancer or some shit? I don't fucking know.
I don't know.
Okay, now you come up with one, because you can't steal mine. You gotta make up one now. Off top of your head. What's a weird belief? One. What's a weird belief?
A weird belief. Don't flat earthers.
Flat earthers. You flat earth bastards.
The flat earth shit just, it makes me laugh because it's just like, it's one of those things that's like, even ancient Greeks knew about it, you know, like they're just like, yeah, the world's round. We get it. And it's funny to watch. Like, I've seen a bunch of stuff on TikTok of like people who are like trying to prove the earth is flat with science experiments, and then like doing the experiment and proving that it's round. It's just like, oh shit. Like the looks on their faces when their experiments fail spectacularly is just like, what'd you think was going to happen? So I don't know. I think flat earth theory kind of shit is just like, it's one of those conspiracies and weird beliefs that's just kind of like, it's one of those things where it's like, oh, you have any idea how many people would be involved in order to keep this a true secret, you know? And if there was an edge of the earth, they would have made a theme park.
You think like bungee jumping off the edge of the world?
Yeah, I mean, they would have commercialized it. They would be making fucking money on the edge of the earth. Why wouldn't they? It's like, hey, check it out. It's the edge of the earth. You know, $1,000 all expense paid resort trip to the edge of the earth.
Do you think
there's no way?
Do you think traveling to a bunch of different countries changes a person?
I don't know if just traveling does it. I think that interacting with people from those other countries can definitely broaden your perspectives. So I don't know if just traveling does it. I know that traveling is a profound experience for some people. You know, like they'll go somewhere and just be like, looking at Mount Kilimanjaro just opened my eyes. You know, it's like, how did that big rock make you change your mind? You know, like...
It's going to make me not want to be a serial killer anymore. Excuse me?
But I definitely think interacting with people from other cultures and different countries and like kind of assimilating their perspectives into your own definitely can broaden your horizons and make you think more in a more broad perspective than you would as just someone who just has only lived in one place.
Okay, now here's one question I'm actually going to answer. I don't think that other one was that good. I don't know why I asked it. Does technology simplify life or make it more complicated?
I think it goes either way. Like, I think that, you know, there's definitely things that simplify life. I mean, like, you can't make an argument that different kitchen appliances haven't simplified life extremely. You know, it used to take people an entire day to iron their clothes because, you know, you had to heat up your iron and shit. Like, the electric iron, like, cut all that time out. You know, washing machines. Yeah, you used to have to carry your clothes down to the river or something to fucking wash them. I don't even know where the nearest river to me is to go that's clean enough to go wash my clothes in.
I live in Arizona. The nearest river for me is probably like 50 miles away. So that's not going to...
The microwave has been feeding people for years now. You know, what are we going to do without Totino's pizza rolls?
And our chicken nuggies.
Yeah, I think it's simplified life a lot, but I think it has complicated life at the same time. What with like the advent and rise of social media, I think social media has actually complicated our lives a lot more.
Yeah, I gotta agree with you that life has made a lot of things simpler, but it also made a lot of things more intense. Like social media, some people, if they get canceled on social media, they basically die. Like
And then there's nukes.
and then there's actual technology like nukes that they don't.
I think that makes life very complicated. You can't just declare war with anyone now. If they have nukes, you got to think twice about that shit.
Everyone has nukes nowadays. It doesn't even matter anymore.
Yeah, just about.
And then the last question is, what do you fear is hiding in the dark? Like, I'm assuming it means like paranormal shit.
Yeah, I think that really honestly, when it comes to fear of the dark, it's more about the fear of the unknown than it is about actual known shit. It's not necessarily you're afraid of the dark because there's a specific monster hiding in the dark, but I think it's because it's unknown space. It's the same thing with people who have like the fear of space or the fear of the ocean or whatever. It's a fear of the unknown more than anything else, unless you specifically have a fear of sharks, I guess,
or drowning.
Yeah, too.
What's the weirdest fear you have, or what are some of the fears you have? Like, let's say like that you like, oh fuck, I do not fuck with that shit.
I don't know. Probably getting crushed. Like,
is that a new fear or is that a?
No, well, I don't know if it's new. It's
I was joking about the.
I mean, yeah, I mean that in particular is probably what fuels it.
So a fear I have is not a fear. I could swim just fine. I swim in deep water. It's just a fear of being like swimming and then getting tired in the middle of deep water, just sinking.
Yeah.
So deep water for me. Like, I didn't like diving or anything because my brother would got into diving or kind of like and deep water. I was like, yeah, nah, I don't feel like falling that deep and then not having a chance of swimming up, kind of thing. So,
I really enjoyed diving when I was more fit.
deep water fucks me up.
I'm not very fit now, so I don't know how much I would enjoy diving now. Just in terms of Oh, you mean like scuba diving?
No, I meant like anything that's like taller than where I could stand in, basically.
Oh, okay.
So like
I got it.
Deep-ish water. Like it could be like 8 feet deep water. If I can't touch the bottom, I'm like, yeah, this is not doing it for me.
You're a play in the shallows kind of guy. That's fine.
Not shallow, 6 foot. I mean, I guess somewhat shallow, but like the second it starts going where my head goes underneath or something, I'm like, yeah, this ain't for me. It's gonna, like I said, I could swim just fine. I've swam like laps in deep water and shit. I just don't like the idea of getting tired and just
sinking. Not being able to get out,
just sinking. So I don't know. All right, then I'll let you go. My name's Larry.
I'm James.
And this is the Simply Evil podcast. Hopefully next week we have art. Have a good one.